Hey everybody, so we're just going to do a quick review here on the Polaris General XP1000's spike upper windows. I've had these for about 2 years now, and as you can see, they're pretty beat up. I've definitely used them. Overall, they're pretty good windows, but they don't exactly seal the greatest, which you can see that the gaskets out here, which you can really work this frame to kind of mold it in to get it to seat better, but it doesn't seat the greatest. You really have to play with the frame quite a bit to try and get it to sit how you want it to. They don't fit great here. As you can see, there's a big gap underneath. So it takes a lot of tinkering with these to try and get them to seal up really well on the machine. The durability of the actual plastic, though, is fantastic. I actually just had a tree push all the way up against this the other week, damn near push all the way through, but it didn't. So the plastic material that they use is really good. I have had issues with the stitching. As you can see, the stitching is torn apart here, which it happened the first time on this window within the first 6 months that I had it. The manufacturer of the spike windows did replace it the first time. I didn't ask the second time. It has happened on both of the windows now, though, the passenger side and the driver. The downside to these is that once it gets scratched up, your visibility goes from being okay to really bad. I know I've been talking about these like they're really bad, but in all reality, for what it is, it's a soft upper window. Okay, this thing isn't built to be like a glass window. Don't expect that it's going to be as nice as a glass window or a OEM one like you have here on this Defender. You know, you're not going to get the visibility, you're not going to get the scratch resistance, you're not going to get the durability out of it. As far as vinyl uppers for temporary, I'd say they're probably top of the line. I mean, they're certainly better than the Polaris OEM ones. A friend of mine has the Polaris OEM ones, and as you can see with the spikes here, it does fit tight to the frame, which is huge. On the Polaris, there's a huge gap right here. It actually sticks out like this. You can see that big gap there. That's how the Polaris ones stick out, whereas the spike, you don't have that issue. I haven't had any experience with the tusks, so I couldn't tell you. Just from taking a beating, though, I mean, these things have really taken a beating. All of this stitch ripping isn't actually from hitting branches. It's from the zipper going up and down. And I think the problem is they actually had it too tight. So I mean, you can see right here, the zipper has separated, and it's really been a struggle. And that's how all the stitching is torn, actually, is when I was opening or closing the zipper, the stitching would tear on it because it was like it had shrunk, or it's too tight for the actual frame itself. That's not from hitting branches or having things poke through. So durability wise, that way, I'd say they're fantastic. No sticks or branches have gone through, held up really well. But like I said, that stitching on the zipper has been an issue. This side, it's not too bad. I think there's only one spot on the driver's side here. Might be up front. But again, on the driver's side, you can see that there's this large gap underneath here. So the only other real big downside that there is when you install these, it comes with this plastic piece. This plastic piece is super chintzy. It seals up this gap in between the ROPS cage and the door. So it does its job that way, but the only way it sits in there is with this push pin. You pull this push pin out, push this push pin in, and then they send some 3M adhesive, but as you can see, it doesn't really set in there that good. It's loose, which when you have the door shut, it doesn't matter, but it's not very good. So that's kind of like the big downsides of it. Like I said, durability-wise, they've held up really well. The gaps, the sealing, you can get it to seal better. When I initially put these on, I'd actually put, and you can see the remainder of it here, I'd put duct tape on to kind of seal this gap, seal these gaps underneath here, and it did help. But I mean, frankly, unless you're going to spend the time to seal up the rest of the General, Like, as you can see here underneath the windshield, there's big gaps, a lot of airflow comes in. Unless you're going to take the time to seal the whole machine, it's not a huge issue. If you're looking to get these and you live in a climate where the coldest that you're seeing is, 30, 40 degrees is what you're riding in, they get the job done. Definitely recommend them for a budget window if you can't afford the Polaris full OEM, full polys, which is what I'm going to end up going with. Living in northern Minnesota, I do need that bigger door. These just don't hold up as well. But other than that, I mean, don't expect a premium product out of something that's $500 when your alternative is $2,000 or $3,000. Overall, I'd say they've done the job. They've done really well for me. But it's not, don't expect it to be perfect. Don't expect it to be like a fully sealed up Can-Am Defender or Ranger. The only other real big issue that I have with these, and again, in warmer climates, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'd say if it's above 40 degrees or 50 degrees, it doesn't matter. But when you're going down the road and you get above 30 miles an hour, the door will actually catch wind and separate from the frame right here, and it'll cause a lot of airflow to start coming in. Again, warmer temps, like 40 degrees or above, doesn't matter really. Can't really make that big of a difference, but in the winter, once it starts getting below that 40 miles or that 40 degree slot, you can really feel the air coming in. If you're just going slow and putting around and you're staying under 30 miles an hour, it's going to keep the heat in pretty damn good for you. If you're going faster than that, if you're going on rides in the winter and you're going 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, do not expect these to keep the air in. So overall, I'd give a positive review to it. I think Spike's done a really nice job. If they were to fix the stitching issue that I've had issues with and fix the zipper issues, I'd say they're by far the best soft upper on the market. Other than that, I really don't have an issue with them in terms of the soft ones. But again, I cannot stress this enough. Do not think that this is a replacement for the Polaris full premiums. It is not. If you want a fully sealed cab and you want this thing to be like a North Star Ranger or a Can-Am Defender Limited, you're going to have to go with the full Polaris polys. So leave a comment if there's anything I missed. Thanks for watching, guys.